It's not over until you say it's over. It's so easy to look at life and everything that has gone wrong, bro, because even looking back at my own childhood, bro, I made a lot of bad decisions. In terms of like my social development, I decided to be recluse and to be antisocial and not really have the normal life growing up and friendships and relationships. I didn't have that, you know? And I could have easily accepted that and thought, you know what, this is just who I am for the entirety of my life. I could have easily used all of that as an excuse, bro, because that damaged my mind a lot, bro. But within all of that, I saw opportunity. I saw a rebirth. I saw all of this shit I fucked up. I take responsibility for taking all the outlets of me doing things, of avoiding human connection and enjoying a fulfilled life for something temporary, getting dopamine from video games and sitting inside and staying in my room and living a life online instead of really living life. I decided I was going to socialize. I remember when I got this job and this uniform that I have right now, and it was my first exposure of having to talk to people consistently and really figuring out like what my personality is, you know? And as I've done it consistently within my first year of me doing this, I was like, I want to start socializing. I want to start enjoying my life. I want to start talking to girls who I don't know and stop using dating apps to make my only option of having a relationship happen to be that. I didn't want that. I didn't want to only live on the internet. And my big driving factor of me doing this was looking at my life in the past. I was like, fuck, bro, like I missed out on a lot, man. And I don't want to be this way forever. I want to actually have a good life. And so I decided to just consistently put myself out there, talk to people on the street, say hi to them. And I live in Seattle too, so it's kind of crazy for me to do this because it's known as the Seattle Freeze, people who aren't really open up in the general population of where I live. But I decided to go against the grain and I was like, you know what? I want to see if I can make something happen. And with a year of consistency of pushing myself out of my comfort zone, bro, I was so anxious. I didn't know how to talk to a person I didn't know, you know? It's striking to me, bro. Like that was like terrifying. Like the deep stomach anxiety I'd get and the racing thoughts. And I reframed that type of response I would have to these situations before I started approaching or talking to someone I didn't know. And I read it as excitement. You know, I rewired my brain. I was like, if I feel this way, it is excitement. And that's why I should continue, even if the feeling is theirs, you know? And I kept pushing myself while all the negatives in my head from all the past trauma, that little kid who was scared to open up his mouth, you know? It's like when I was in school, bro, I go like weeks without talking. It was very weird. You know, I was looked at as the weird kid, and I couldn't really get over that growing up, you know, and I thought that was who I was, but it really wasn't, you know. I had to give myself a chance to see who I really was. And whenever I got that feeling of being that kid who was just sitting in a class and just mouth zipped, scared to open, you know, I decided, listen, that kid's excited to finally live life. And that feeling, that voice of being scared slowly disappeared throughout the year. And I got to a point where I started talking to my parents the year after me making a commitment to try to better my life. And they're like, wow, you're like a completely different person. I don't remember this type of person. You're so confident. You're so outgoing and outward. Like, I don't remember this. I remember you being in high school and you're trying to search for yourself. And it felt really good to hear that. And I want you guys to hear that and listen to what I'm saying and use it as motivation for yourself. That even if you went down a bad path that you weren't proud of and you weren't able to fully be yourself and fully live your life, that doesn't mean you can't do it now, man. You can. It's only over until you say it's over. Trust me, and I'm living proof of that, bro. You guys got it.